Try to play some intro music. No. Oh, dang, it's not working. I'm trying to play intro music right now. I'm already having technical issues after 5 seconds of being on this live. Oh dear. Hello, how's everyone going? It's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm gonna check if Jeremy's here, because that's what we're here to do. Gonna talk with Jeremy. Here it is. Yeah. Alright. How you guys going? This is great intro music.
What's up?
Hello. And he's gone. That was short-lived. I'll play the music back. That was weird. God, I've become such a rookie now. I haven't done a live in, what, 6 months? Tie your hair in a ponytail. Nope. I love your necklace, thank you. Coco made it, as per usual. I forgot how nervous I get in these. Jeremy, where are you? Alright, try again.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry, brother.
Smooth as always.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm good, man.
Good.
I'm just chilling in my little studio at home.
Nice.
Yeah, what did you do today?
A lot of kid stuff.
Lots of kid stuff. Well, same, basically. Except I'm actually doing the kid stuff. You're monitoring it.
Yeah. My little girls. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. For those who don't know, and yeah, they're doing the kindy thing and the school thing. Just read the 6-year-old bit of Harry Potter before bed.
Oh, that's always fun. Well, hopefully this doesn't wake them up. Oh God, people are already commenting on like my ring light because look
Oh,
like
it is
just
good. I'm annoyed at how good you look.
look. It's such a douchebag move, but look, Nate sent one to my house, and I was like,
One
well,
out.
I guess I'm using this for everything now because it just makes you look way better than you usually do. But these
Have
like
a,
those little circles in your
oh, there
eyes
you
just
go.
make it go
That's
away.
the, yeah, that's how you notice.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I could
Yeah.
have
So
looked better.
well, we're here to just talk about the distance music video and how we made that, and just a little bit about it. And we asked you guys to send through some questions on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, everything, and we've kind of got a few here. And if you guys want to just keep asking on this live, obviously feel free. And yeah, should we just kick it off?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. This first question I've already got written down on my laptop to my right. It says, do you work together to come up with music video ideas? That's from Claudia Hickey on IG. Yeah. So what do you have to say about that? Do we work
Nice.
together?
Well, I think we've spoken about this before, that it is this funny thing because we've worked together for so long and we know each other so well, we kind of share a brain. And I feel like it's this funny thing where, the process is usually that I go away, with the track, and just I listen to it just absolutely nonstop. And I come to you with something, something that we haven't really discussed, but I come at you with this thing, and then it's a discussion from there. And it's usually a case of, it's almost like you're kind of like the curator in that position where you pick what you like and you suggest other things, and it's kind of a collaboration from that point. But the funny thing is that I feel like, because we do have this thing where we share a brain, I feel like even that initial idea that I bring is kind of shared anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think, well, it's all about what you see when you hear the song. I think for you and me, just like when it comes to all visuals, and you know, that's kind of how the whole "As Long as You Care" and Real Vision thing started, was just because I felt like when we both heard that song, or when I kind of first finished it, I just got, you know, that sort of old school mid-century like vibe from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I think we just really grew from that. So with Distance, I think, you know, I remember when you first came to me, it was just like what you kept hearing was just, or seeing, was just like multiple parts of a breakup, and just like bring it into different like lights and different stages, and having a different color or setting for each, you know, part of that of what you're going through. So yeah, I think I just
exactly.
completely butchered your first idea, but it was basically
Yeah, no, I mean it was, yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
yeah. So
And so I think, yeah, I got a question here. We're going to go back and forth. So
okay.
I like this question actually. It's and so this one isn't anyone in particular because so many people asked it. It's what's your favorite outfit of the clip?
That's a good question. All the outfits were, well, I felt great in all of them, except for the yellow mustard suit. That one was just so tight around my
It
ankles.
was so
Like that was
tight.
like, it like stopped at my thigh, and it was, yeah. But that was, yeah, it still looked cool. But the one I probably felt the best in was the floral
hmm
um Louis V like tracksuit. I thought it was so comfy, it looked sick, and just in the setting, it just felt so nice. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt pretty comfortable in that shot because I was just getting to play the guitar as well, so I didn't have to like awkwardly move my hands around. So
That's
yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
you get to just focus on that. It's nice because we haven't really done much of that where you get to just vibe out on the guitar. In fact, we hadn't
Mhm.
ever. Well, you play guitar on As Long as You Care, but other than that, I guess not.
Yeah, not like super chill. I still had to
Yeah.
like get up and do like my shoulder movements. Yeah. Um.
I don't know if I told you this, but the night before when I was in the studio with everyone setting it all up. Oh yeah, I think you do know because that's how we selected it when you were in hair and makeup. But I the night before we had a rack of all of the clothing, and I actually sat in each of the sets, and I wore the outfit myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
I
fun to
know.
do. Yeah,
Yeah, you love doing that. There's always a
yeah,
photo of you wearing like what I was wearing in the shoot, and I'm like, oh, you
yeah,
deserve to put on those clothes that we have to give back the next day.
exactly.
I got another question for you. How do you come up with these great ideas in directing most of Ruel's music videos? How do you come up with these great ideas?
How do I do it? Um, well, I guess, you know, I've been making music videos for a long time now. I've made a lot. And I suppose, I suppose it's sort of become a little bit second nature now, but my process is usually like I said earlier, I really have to listen to the track just so much. Like it is just on constantly. And I think I like it to get to the point where it's so much a part of my kind of psyche, or you know, I know it so inherently that I sort of let the ideas come to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I often go through a process of, because I illustrate, I often go through a process of just drawing, like kind of almost doodling, you know,
hmm
and going on Pinterest rabbit holes as well. And then, like I said earlier, you know, with you and I, it's sort of knowing you and your project so well that it's like this bigger story that each clip is part of a bigger story almost. So I let
yeah,
the idea naturally kind of come to me, and then obviously like the lyrics. I mean, funnily enough, I would say the ideas come to me more from the feeling of a song than the lyrics of a song.
yeah.
Often.
I think that's the same for me, just visually. And like as you were saying,
Mm,
when you sketch those stuff out, like that's like those storyboards out. I find that is really exciting as well because
mm.
even though it's so far from getting a visual, I feel like you really can pinpoint the most like simple version of the idea, and it's still like when you sketched out the like the revolving thing for distance, and then you sketched out
Yeah.
the storyboard for as long as you care, and you made that
Hmm.
into a video. Like
Yeah.
all these little things that you do just like really kind of bring it to life so early, so it gets everyone super excited. So I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
super
and
cool.
it helps us all to kind of understand whether it's going to work or not. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this, but I just found the sketch.
Ah,
I,
sick. Oh, you
I wonder if
yeah,
it'll. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Does that you
yeah,
got
yeah.
that? And so yeah, so that was kind of the initial sketch. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's sort of the only difference in the end was we were going to have like a studio set up. So if you can see the kind of musical equipment and so on, and that was
Yeah,
going to be like your home studio, if you remember. But
yeah,
then
I do remember
once
that.
we were looking at it, and I hit up my poor friend from Sydney and like borrowed all his music equipment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we kind of set it up and it just looked too busy. And it was a pretty last minute decision actually to take all of the flowers from the gas scene and just do one scene that's just all flowers.
Hmm.
And I'm really glad it worked out that well because it really because the guitar's the main is really the music of the song. So I'm glad in the end that happened.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that yeah, I remember thinking about it because it was a bit smaller than we thought, all the spaces, and I remember
Right.
seeing all those keyboards, and the idea was just like have like synths everywhere and
That's it.
guitars everywhere, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna really work. And
Right.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
flowers just looked amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was happy with that.
Thank God. Okay. So next question for you. Is the video based off your own experience? Asked by a lot of
Oh,
people, by the
we're getting personal now.
way.
I think a lot of these songs, like a lot of these songs, that I wrote with Sarah, in 2019, were like really, I don't know, they weren't really specific about my experiences. Like a few of them were. I think Distance wasn't Distance. I was like kind of going from actually one of Sarah's stories. I forgot, and I don't
Mm,
want to completely give out what that was
mm,
for all these people. But yeah, I think it was just she was telling me a story of what she had gone through once in her life, and I was just kind of trying to relate to it, and that's how it
mm.
came to be. But I feel like we've all had a breakup before, and we all know the stages, and like even if it wasn't completely specific to what happened to me, all these stages, I wasn't like
Yeah.
in a gas station in the desert with my shirt off.
Oh, you
That's
were?
not really what I did. But like it definitely just the feeling, the emotion of the video. I feel like is quite relatable. So
Mm,
I'd just say kinda.
kinda. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we hoped that it was based off a human experience,
Yeah.
because we all know that experience, and we all know that we go through different phases of processing.
Hmm.
And I guess the other thing that maybe we didn't fully delve into so much, but I remember when you and I were talking about it before going into it. In fact, maybe even before coming up with the concept, was that for you, it was also about keeping your distance from someone because they're going to hurt you. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's also a really relatable thing where that someone's not good for you, or that you're either too into them, or and it's not going to work out, or it's just a feeling where it's not meant to be, and so you have to actually keep I actually related to that.
Yeah, I
You
think
got it.
a lot of
Yeah.
people have, and that kind of works in both ways, even
Mm,
before starting a relationship or after a
right.
breakup.
Exactly.
Like it's
Mm,
always like it's usually really important to keep your distance. It's like what is it, the 6 week rule where you just don't have any, or 5 week rule, you don't have any contact with the person. And I
right.
think that's healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got another question. Does
Mm.
Rule behave on set, and what's Rule like to work with?
Yeah, you do. You do. I think that, well, I love working with you. I think we have a lot of fun on set, but it's also, it is. it's a lot, you know, especially when we try to do these things in a day, you
Yeah.
know, it's like, you know, probably what people see in the behind the scenes when we're mucking around is like small moments, especially for me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
because I'm
think,
like quite serious the whole time.
yeah, no, I think like on set, like, well, you're the most like chill, laid back person that I know when we're hanging out. And then when you're on set, you kind of just like
Right.
go a bit pale. And
Yeah,
you're just like,
totally.
ah, and like you're doing all these
Yeah.
things at once. And it's pretty insane
Mm.
because you always pull it off and there's always like a million things happening around you, like people shouting at you to do certain things and you're trying to get a shot that we don't have enough time
Mm.
for or that
Mm.
we want to make time for. And then I feel like I'm always just like kind of just sitting there in front of the camera, like setting up a shot, just like I don't know, fucking around. And well, yeah, just seeing the behind the scenes video, I'm just like most of the time I'm just laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
While Jeremy's just like, ah!
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I get it a bit easy, but
Yeah.
no, it is definitely a fun experience. That I feel like we always come out, I come out after it just being like so stoked that we did it and so like
Yeah.
relieved as well.
Exactly. Yeah. What was the funniest or most interesting scene to do for you?
I
And that
think
was
the
asked by Roro does Da Silva on Instagram.
that was a cool name. Yeah, I think there was a few ones where like they're definitely the pink tears. That was pretty like I kept having these cramps in my leg for some
That's
reason
right.
during this one set,
Yeah.
and like really annoyed because I had to stay super still and I
Yeah.
couldn't move. I couldn't blink because my eye was like it was gonna get all the stuff in my eye
Yeah.
um yeah, and we had to do like a bunch of those shots. And I don't know, my foot just kept cramping up. So I kept like shaking my leg underneath the
Yeah.
table. And I was like, yeah, and I just was in this annoying, like just inconvenient pain. So I guess that wasn't the funniest, but it would have been funny to watch at least because I was
Well,
just like shaking.
I remember when it first happened because like as you say, you know, the whole vibe was that you were completely still and we were like mid take and before you told us you just started like moving and I was like, what's going on? Because your legs
Yeah.
started going up and down and then we realized you'd completely lost all circulation to your leg.
Yeah, it was super weird. And then I don't
It,
know, the other one where was a shot that we actually didn't use. Little
oh
one
yeah.
where I was walking around the
Yes.
like yeah, there's one shot that we did that was just me, yeah, just walking, keeping in line with the camera, which was stationary, and I just kept like walking through the sets. And since there was so much like obstruction on the sets and so many like things to walk over, I just like kept tripping over, and that was and like it was quite terrifying. I don't know why. Like I was only like a meter off the ground and it was going so slowly, but I
Well,
just
there was
somehow
so much
felt like
stuff
I was
right
just
on
gonna
the
fall
edge.
and get crushed by it. I just had a feeling I was gonna get in the middle and just get mangled. But
Totally.
yeah. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
here.
It's funny.
Um,
I was gonna say before you move on, I was gonna say it's funny how we've put you in such like I've put you in such awkward sort of physical positions in numerous videos because
yeah.
when we did the painkiller video, you know, Rule had to. If you guys have seen the painkiller vid at the very end when Rule's head dissipates and floats away, it's just his head on the ground. And so the way
Mm.
that we did that was that he had to like, it was so awkward because you had to like push your shoulder down and like, because your head had to be completely flat and it
Yeah,
took
yeah,
so
yeah.
long and you had to be like really happy while you sung it. And then the other one was the sun-dried tomato
Hmm.
in As Long As You Care, because again, you had to, oh yeah, it was a similar thing where you were kind of quite bright-eyed and so on, but you just had to be in this like really
Yeah.
weird
I
position.
couldn't even move like my face. It was just my mouth that I had to
That's
move.
right,
So it
exactly.
was happening. That was a bunch of
Yeah.
weird stuff. The next question for you is what inspired each section of the cylinder? And that was asked by Zoe Guzman.
Cool. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've seen that, you know, a lot of people have asked, yeah, what's kind of the meaning behind, you know, each of the sets. And, you know, the thing that I love, you know, in art that I really dig, I love that it's for the interpretation of the viewer. You know, so there's inspiration that comes for, you know, so there's my meaning that which would be actually probably different to your meaning, you know, to the other people on set's meaning. But, you know, in terms of each section, I mean, going through it, I suppose, well, actually, I don't even know if you know this, that the scene with the petrol pump, when I went to the studio a couple of days before just to map it out and see how we're going to do it all, there was sort of like a mezzanine, and that, you know, they do a lot of film stuff there. So on the mezzanine, the petrol pump was up there in the studio. And the jerry cans, and so I believe, yeah, because I think previously it was going to be, maybe it was going to be all flowers. And so I was like, oh, yo, to the art, because I had an art director who helped me to bring it all to life. And I was like, yo, what if we put that in? And he's like filling it up and blah, blah, blah. So for me, the initial idea just came from, you know, if I'm being honest, it came from just the beauty of the thing, because it just looks so damn cool. And it's nostalgic because it's vintage and it's worn. And I think for me, you know, a lot of people love to take photos of like dilapidated old petrol stations that are no longer in use, because they are an interesting image, because it's like, it's this hub which used to be full of life, but now it no longer is. And often those places are in the middle of nowhere. And I think the image of a petrol pump like that, especially with sort of plants around it or desert or whatever, is that it feels like it's desolate and it's lonely and you're in the middle of nowhere. And then I like the fact that you're filling the you're filling the jerry can indefinitely. It's just going on forever, which I like, because to me that represents that it's a never-ending task. There's like, not to get too heady about it, but there's this old.
This is getting really deep into this.
Yeah. Well, to get real deep on it, I was thinking about it today, and because actually a friend asked me that same question about the meaning of stuff, and I was thinking about, when I was back at school, I studied ancient Greece, and there's the afterlife in ancient Greek belief, where it was sort of like hell, or Hades, they called it. And there's a mythological character called Sisyphus, who used to, his eternal task was to push this boulder up this hill. And then when it got to the top of the hill, it would roll back down again. And then he would go back down and he would push the boulder up. And the idea is that he would do that for eternity. Yeah. And I always connected with that image. And to me, it's like, yeah, it's almost like this, I like the idea of this eternal task. You're never going to fill that jerry can up. You're never going to fill yourself up. You know what I mean?
Well, man, that's fucking so much more deep than I thought about. I just thought it was a cool visual. But damn, and you really think about stuff, don't you?
Well, I mean, I think, again, like I said before, I think the truth of the matter is that no, I love the way that the petrol pump looked. But to me, I think that they're often the reason that we do love these images, even if we don't think, you know, we all have a different meaning attached to an image like that. But for me, I fell in love with that image maybe for deeper reasons than I might have noticed at the time. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then I like the fact that in retrospect, we get to look back and go, oh, actually, maybe it's kind of this meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's always ways to interpret it, but yeah, that's definitely another way. But I think not many people will probably.
No, exactly. Yeah.
But like, still, like, that's great. That's cool to think that there is so many ways to interpret just a petrol can. So
well, that's it. And you know, there's no time to go into every single scene, I don't think. But you know, but I think that the desert scene where you're sitting on the rock and there's the solar panel. I like the idea that that's where you're charging up. You know, you're charging up from having this impact or this blow in your life, and you're getting ready to, you know, go back to life, you know.
That's awesome. I think that's another cool one. But yeah, wow, that got
and deep. Then I don't know, fully sorry about
No, please. I love it. They're loving it. I'm reading the comments and they're just saying, what an educational king. But
But what do you reckon about the plinth end?
the plinth end.
Mm. Like the very last scene with
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think that was just like, well, yeah. I remember you were saying in the BTS video, how that is just like the final stage of just like
Mm,
pure dread and kind of grief of it all,
mm,
and it's
mm.
like really kind of coming to terms with it, and it's like the idea of these stages of a breakup, like it's the death um of that period of your time in your life. It's the
Exactly.
death of that period of
Mm,
getting over this person. Like it's kind of this person is like kind of dying in your mind a bit, and
mm,
it's kind of
mm.
falling out. And after that, once you get all those tears out, once you get all those good times out, I guess then you're just like back to start fresh, which I think I
Exactly.
got from it.
Yeah, that exactly. And I love that like I like that because it's a cylindrical circular movement. And I,
Hmm.
I was thinking as well how it's like our head is like a cylinder,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like all the feelings that we go through like that. And so I liked the idea that the last stage is a type of death.
Hmm.
And in order for then the next one is like would be a rebirth, again, type of thing.
Yeah. Well,
Too
true.
deep.
Moving on.
Well, this is a good segue question, which is why did you go with pink tears instead of blue or green or purple? Asked by Gretch on Twitter.
Hmm. I think the pink tears. First of all, it just looked really nice with the white, and I think that just like aesthetically, I think that was the nicest thing. And I think there was a few references we saw of pink tears somewhere. I don't know where, probably just on one of your
Mm,
interest things. But yeah, and I think as I was saying before, like kind of relieving these good times
mm.
through pink tears is a bit of a, I don't know, contrast with like how sad it is. Like it's still kind of a bit of a, it's like you're kind of crying the happiness out in a
Yeah,
way. I don't know. That's
I
another
think so.
way
Yeah,
of
yeah, because
looking at it.
because I guess
Get
pink
me on you.
is pink is kind of the prettiest color we could think of, and and
Yeah,
and and also you could say it's a feminine color as well,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and a feminine color, and so yeah, I think that's right. It's like crying out the beauty of the relationship or whatever is kind of a
Mhm.
nice thought. But again, it's like with the petrol pump. It's like truth is, it just looked really dope. And
Mhm.
a big part of the creation of these videos is aesthetics and color matching. And when you sit back and you look at the whole piece, what's actually gonna tell a visual? What's gonna It's not even telling a visual story. It's just aesthetically. It's a piece of the puzzle. So that pink amongst that white is just a piece of the puzzle in the color scheme, going around. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was it was about beauty.
yeah, yeah. I got another question for you. Did you have any other ideas for this video?
Do you remember?
I do remember, yes. And I
Yeah.
remember I shut it down pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, so something that that I'm sure people would find interesting is that and some of you might know already is that me and the team, Michelle, Joel, and Nate, we all went and quarantined for 2 weeks in Darwin because we're all from Melbourne. So we all quarantined in Darwin for 2 weeks to go to Sydney in order to shoot these videos. And so the crazy thing, it was actually such a crazy experience because I didn't have the ideas going into quarantine, and so we went in and we set up, and then I had to go. It was so much pressure because it was like come up with 2 music video concepts for this and say it over. But not only that, it had to be something that we could shoot in 2 weeks time, and
Yeah.
also with a crew that I'd never, like, because I hadn't worked out of Sydney before, so I had to also choose an entire crew to work with. So it was like, it
I
was such
felt so
intense.
bad for you, man.
It
I
was,
was like, how the hell are we doing this to this man? I felt so bad, but man, you
it
got
was, yeah.
yeah, you got that first concept like pretty quickly, what, in like a couple days, and then send
Right.
that to me. And I remember I loved the say it over concept, and there
Yeah.
was there was a few other ideas with that as well, with like, say, oh, we won't
Mm.
get into that. I feel like that's a whole nother 20-minute story. But
Right.
like with distance, for example, yeah, you can say like what the first idea for distance was.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was basically it was basically everything, a home and a person and everything completely wrapped in plastic. So the idea was basically, it was kind of it came from just a visual vibe, like a vibe that I enjoyed visually, which was sort of wrapping everything in plastic to show a kind of disconnection. And
Yeah.
it was funny because I pitched you Say It Over and Distance at the same time, and so it was kind of cool because you were into Say It Over, so it was like, okay, yes, and then you weren't into this one. It was like, okay, that's all right, because we know at least we're doing Say It Over.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I went back to the drawing board, but the thing that you rightfully weren't into was that you didn't want it to feel too obvious around distance being a sort of metaphor around COVID and how we have distance from each other and how we have to wrap ourselves in plastic and all of that. So yeah, there was another idea, and there often is, that's part of the process. And because I've been a graphic designer for so long and whatnot, and I always have clients, I'm so used to, it's not like it hurts. It's just like, okay, better get cracking again.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So where are we up to? Oh yeah. So why are you at a gas station when you can't even drive?
Okay.
Serena, aka Rules Medicine on Twitter.
Oh, well, man, this driver's license story is it just keeps getting longer, I swear. But I lost it 5 months ago, almost 5.5 months ago, and it was supposed to be a 3-month ban, and like I was supposed to get it yesterday, actually.
Oh,
Yesterday was
what?
like a few days ago. And I like went in, called them up, was like, great to get my license back. Thanks so much. And then they said, oh, no, it's another month. And I was like, why? And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And then they're like, oh, no, it's just like, it was another point taken off your license. And I was like, why? It's just like, oh, because, it was like double demerits that day or something. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me.
Oh,
That was another
damn.
month. Anyway, but I'm at the
Oh,
gas
brilliant.
station, like Jeremy said, metaphorically. And
You were Sisyphus pushing up the boulder.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was doing. I was not driving, though. I was rolling boulders. What's the next one? Why are there 5 rules in the music video? Why not
5
4?
rules.
Why
I
not
actually
6?
didn't. I wish I hadn't counted. Are there 5? Are there? Because that's what we could fit.
Yeah, I guess that's really all that's all it really is to that. There's no deeper meaning to that.
Yeah.
There's no Greek mythology around the 5 rules.
Yeah, I should make one up.
Yeah, you could definitely bullshit and everyone would believe you.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely another interesting thing about the initial concept for this video was that when I pitched it initially to you, it was actually going to be a circular set built out of like photographic backdrops.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was going to be a circular track. So you can build a dolly track in a circle. So it was going to be a circular track. And then the camera was going to move around the set. And so that was actually what everyone green lit. And then I went into, as I'm in quarantine, like calling every VisFX person I know and didn't know. I literally called about 20 VisFX people to try and figure out how to do it because we had to repeat, obviously, you in the setting. And so the thing that idea was possible, but the dolly track would have been way too big to be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And coming off the back of deciding how many we could have. And so in the end, and so by the way, how we would have done that was what's called motion control, a motion control dolly setup. So it's like robotics. So it would have been, we would have had robotics set to the dolly, circular dolly, and then so when we clicked go on it, it would go around the dolly at the exact same pace every time, so that then that footage we could take and stitch it up as you moved around the set.
Yeah,
And
so
so
it was a very technical job, that one. I remember hearing that, and you're like, yeah, and I was like, do you reckon we can pull this off? And you were like, yeah, I reckon. And I was like, sick, cool,
yeah,
this will be easy, great, love this. And then, well, yeah, like a few days before, we're like, okay, that's going to be revolving. And I was like,
yeah,
that's not even cooler. It was going to be more
yeah,
fun for me.
yeah, totally. I'm so glad that it ended up being that. And so it was on, we ended up putting the set on it's a car turntable. So when
Yeah,
people shoot, when people shoot car ads, they put it on this turntable and it spins around. And so basically it was a case of, it was basically a different mode of doing it. But yes, to answer the question, there's 5 rules because that's what we could fit.
yeah.
So whose turn is it?
It's your
So
turn.
yeah, what was Rule? Oh, this is a good one actually. What was Rule writing on the paper?
Oh yeah, that's right. I was, it was 2 things. When I first, because Jeremy actually gave me his own like personal diary to write in, so I was really trying hard not to read through that while shooting. But then he wanted me to write something down, and then I just immediately started writing just like a diss track about Nate. And I wrote like a full page of lyrics. I don't even know, is it still in there? It probably
Oh,
still is.
bro, it probably is. I don't
Oh,
know
don't
where
get it
that could
out. I'll
be.
get cancelled because I said that. Um, but yeah, no, I did that, and then I think I was like smiling too much while writing that, and then I just ended up started actually writing the lyrics of the song,
Yeah, yeah.
which seemed obviously probably a lot more appropriate. But yeah, no, that's what we ended up doing. I think in the shot as well, I'm just writing the lyrics. I wish we kept in a shot of me just being like, "Fuck you, Nate, you prick." I think that'd be cool. But yeah. Anyway, next time.
Oh
Uh,
man.
Next one. How did you come up with the 5 different locations? I feel like we've kind of already covered that.
Right.
What was the inspiration for the video? I feel like we've also kind of covered that. I feel like in every question we've kind of covered all these. But let's
True.
have a look at the live ones. Let's see
Okay, nice.
what's going on here. People just ask. Okay, there's not much about the video. But I feel like we've talked a lot about the video. Um, did you distance for the distance music video shoot? Well, I guess we had to be pretty social distance. I think because obviously we were doing it. We've done so many music videos now in COVID times. Like
Mm,
as long as you care shoot, that was hectic. That was like everyone couldn't touch, and it was such like a crowded house.
yeah.
And yeah, and I was like the only one that wasn't wearing a mask
Yeah.
because I was the only one that like I couldn't like I don't know, because I was basically in every shot. So every time I was just walking to set, like I just would just be like, it would always just fuck up something if I wore a mask. But yeah, that was super weird. Like everyone around me was wearing a mask, and I was just like running free.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, I would have breathed. I felt so bad. But yeah, I guess that's kind of everything. That's basically like we've told you guys, I think, more than enough about the distance music video.
Way
And
too
thank
much.
you to Jeremy for coming on this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I'll see you all later. Oh,
And so, oh yeah, what you got there? What you
I
got?
just
What you
remembered.
remembering?
I'm remembering that I'm allowed to tell you guys a little something, and uh, it's pretty big news. So next week, I'm putting out a song. It's coming out on Friday. The song is called Too Many Feelings. And on the Thursday, I'm going to be doing like a little premiere on TikTok, because we all know how much I love TikTok. And I'm going to be doing like a TikTok live stream at like 11:30 p.m., like right before it comes out. I'm going to play you guys a song, and I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be a good time. So come on for that. Anyway, next week, song's coming out. Really excited
When
for
was
it.
it? When was it?
It's next Friday,
Thursday.
and then the live stream is going to be on the Thursday, so
Oh,
at
I see.
11:30
I get you.
p.m. So yeah.
I get you.
Anyway, come check it out, and more details very soon. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you all later. See you,
Fun
Jeremy.
times, bro. Much love.